Hey, what's up everyone? How are you doing? So I want to show you what do I do to avoid tilt in blitz chess. There's a lot of people who play blitz and they're really worried about what is their rating right now. And I think that can be a disruptive way to think about things because when your rating is high, you're happy. When your rating is low, you're not happy. But usually that's based on a very small sample of games. And so what I do is I track my performance rating for every blitz game I play. So if I beat somebody, so like my last game I beat somebody rated 2499 on chess.com. So I put in the spreadsheet 2899. You add 400 to somebody's rating when you beat them, you subtract 400 when you lose, and you write down the rating when it's a draw. And what I do is in this column, which is D7, and you can see the formula up top, I track my last 10 games performance rating. So that takes the average of the performance of my last 10. Column E, I track my last 20 games, my last 50, my last 100, my last 200, my last 500, and overall. So what you see is as you track a larger sample size of games, the number and your strength remains a lot more consistent. And those short-term fluctuations of winning a bunch of games and losing a bunch of games no longer are super relevant. They'll affect your last 10, they'll affect your last 20, they'll affect even your last 50, but your last 200 is not going to move too much if you just have a bad streak. So my last 500 games, I've been playing at a 2685 performance level. What I've done here is I show the highest, here is the highest I've had last 10 performance. So the highest I played for 10 game sample is 2984, lowest 2333. It's a 600 point swing. For the last 20 games, I've played 2881 level as my high, 2465 is my low, 416 point swing. Notice the swing went down 200 points as we made a double the sample size. My last 50 games, my highest was 2787, lowest 2602. So that's crucial. So if I ever get under 2600 by like some accident of just playing badly for a short time, I've never had a 50 game sample where my performance was under 2600. So you just know it's a fluke. It's just you just had a bad streak. It means nothing. But that's only 186 points different. When you go to 100 games, it's only 119 points between the high and the low. When you go to 200 games, it's only 62 points between the high and the low. And so the more games you play, the more you accurately know. And the more games where you look at your performance over those certain number of games, and you look at the high and the low, you're more accurately going to know what your true strength is. It's not the number you see in front of your name when you're playing that game. It's this number. It's the average of your performance over a large sample of games. Now on this spreadsheet, I only have games since like June, late June, because that's when I stopped streaming, and I started trying like harder, and my openings were better at this point, and I actually like very quickly started playing much better. Like at the time I started this, my rating was actually under 2600. It was like 2580. I was kind of hanging around the 2580, 2590 level as an average, and even at the start, like I stayed around there. So like after about 30 games, I was still just 2584 average, you know, 2601, and then I just started to take off. And you know, part of it is due to the fact, but like even here after about 100 games, I was still only like 2619, almost 100 games in, and that seems like much less lower than my level now. But my openings have gotten much better. I've been training them hard, and then this number just went up and up and up and up. It never quite reached 2700, I don't think. I'm gonna try to get there. It's hard though because it's actually been going down over my last 100's been not great. My last 200, you know, my last 100 and my last 200 are lower than my overall. So I've been playing a little bit worse, but like nothing crazy, right? One theory I have actually is that knowing your openings instead, like I had what I would say is a very mediocre opening knowledge because I hadn't played chess for like 8 years. I was just playing old openings that I knew just some very basics about, but nothing modern, nothing like up to date, no real theory. And then I really worked hard on them. And I think it has affected my rating by about 100 points in Blitz. I think I'm 100 points stronger because my openings are so good now. And I think that's probably about the maximum you can gain from good openings in like 3-minute chess. I don't think knowing them even better is going to maybe again a little bit more because there's like some little things. But I think really good openings for your level is worth about 100 points. I actually think I'm better than the average opponent in my rating and openings. I think it's pretty clear. Some people I'm not, some games I don't do well in the opening, but more often than not, I know more than my opponent. And I have very few holes, like just giant gaping holes anymore. Whereas before I did. I had lots of them. Like D4 and move 1. I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. I would just play some garbage position. I would get a position I'm uncomfortable with. I would not be happy every game. So that's basically how I do this. Why does it say this video is only 6 minutes long? I feel like I've been talking for like an hour. I hope I didn't accidentally pause it. But yeah, you just do this. You input a new column every time. I have a separate one for Title Tuesday because I feel like it's a different time control, and you play lower rated players sometimes, which like makes it hard when you're playing like 2200s because even when you win, it messes up your performance. I'm 2664 in Title Tuesdays, but you know, like I said, I've lost to a lot of lower rated players there, and it just totally destroys your performance. Yeah, so like any different time control, I like to put in a different spreadsheet. But I hope that if you're somebody who's like really obsessed with your rating and you just want to get more zen when you play, creating a spreadsheet like this will help, and focusing on this instead of your game-by-game rating fluctuation. Thank you. I hope you liked this video.